Chris here, and welcome to my review of the new Nubia watch. So this has just released. It's a very unique watch here that has a curved display with a 4.01-inch AMOLED. It has a very fine, thin sheet of glass that goes over the top of this touch screen. Supports 2 touch points. It's got your typical functions that most now smartwatches have, and that is some tracking with fitness tracking, but it is very, very limited. Heart rate monitors there. Apparently has GPS on board with this as well, and a few little features that I will discuss. But first I wanted to point out that yes, Nubia did send this out to me free of charge in exchange for the review you are watching right now. All opinions are 100% my own. I'm not being paid for this video, and it's not been approved before I publish it online. So inside the box, you'll find a charging base, of course. So it's using pogo port pins and magnets to hold it into place. Now the connector for this one here, the cable, is micro USB. Now I believe that this should be Type-C, especially in 2020, late 2020. We do get an additional strap. This is a slightly shorter strap for those of you out there that do have smaller wrists, and there is a little bit of paperwork as well included. So we have a 4.01-inch screen. Now this is AMOLED and it's flexible, so they've curved it around here. So this is probably the best part of this watch, is its very unique design that it has. There's no other watch that I've seen that looks quite like this one here. So you can see the screen wraps right around there. You can change and use different watch faces. There are quite a few in this particular OS that they have already preloaded. And there doesn't seem to be any way with the software to actually add any more, but I'm sure that will be coming hopefully in the future, but I'll get onto the software soon of that. The good thing about this watch is the OS does actually run quite fluid. It's got 1 GB of RAM, 8 GB of storage. You can preload it with some songs on there and you get about approximately 4 GB of space. So the frame all around the outside here, that is metal, and then we've got this very unique design at the back with the strap and the hinge incorporated. So if you wanted to put the watch down on a table like completely flat, the screen doesn't actually work like that. You can't bend it out completely flat. But as you can see here that I can bend it in a little bit as well. So if you've got very small wrists, or perhaps you're buying this for, say, a child that's only 10 years old, you can use the smaller straps, of course, and just wrap it around a little bit there. So that's the flexibility with this display. So only one button here on the side. That's it. And you can see that there's screws on the design here. And it doesn't actually look too bad to me. Now, just a little bit more about this display. That maximum brightness, I'm having trouble measuring it accurately because it's not 100% flat in such a small area, but it looks like it tops out at about 120 nits on the brightness 5 setting, which is the maximum. So that's not actually that bright. And you'll see that in direct sunlight, as this example from here, actually looks worse than what it really is in person. It's actually a bit bright and you can still make it out. So you can just make the screen out in direct sunlight. Now, according to Nubia, this is glass, flexible, very thin glass that's over the top of this. Now, there's a little bit of rubber around the outside as well. Now, the watch itself does weigh 98 grams, and it does have an IP54 rating. And of course, on the back, hold it up to the camera here, you can see that's our heart rate scanner right there. The pogo port pin connectors there for charging it. Now, charge time is approximately 85 minutes. It's just over about an hour and 20 minutes to charge it. And overall, the build quality is good in design, but let's get on to now have a little look at what features we have, or should I say features we're lacking with this particular model. So this is what it looks like on your wrist here. I don't have a particularly thick wrist and it fits me just fine, although I could get the strap, maybe even use the smaller strap on that one. That's probably why they included it in the box there. So where you swipe, if you swipe up or down, you're going to get some quick toggles here. This is just swiping down. You can see I've got 26% battery life. Now to comment on the battery life, I've only been using this now for about 5 days and it struggles to get through a full day. And if you're using tracking, if you're going to be using it for going for a run or something, then you will actually struggle to get it through a full day with this. The battery life has been so far quite disappointing. Now here you can see my calories, my steps for today. I decided to go for a run and test it out a little bit, of course, got to do that. And if you swipe then from this part here, that's where you get your notifications. Now swiping left or right, that's going to bring up then this menu. You can also use the button too for this. So sports mode, now this is where it really falls short. So we've only got 4 tracking modes at the moment. Now they could add possibly more and I really hope they do. So free workout, outdoor walking, indoor running, outdoor running, that's it. So it's basically 2 running modes, walking, and then just a general workout mode. So no cycling, there's nothing. I mean, so many other smartwatches out there that I do have. They even have modes like, for example, snowboarding or swimming and even skiing or skating and things, a lot there. But cycling, I think, should definitely be there. Well, I'm a cyclist myself, so I'd really like to see that. And unfortunately, it's not there. So tapping the button can bring you back then. Messages, you've got your calls there that can be listed for your notifications. Health, so just tapping this, it'll bring in and show this workout that I did. So almost 4 kilometers, and that was almost 5,500 steps. Heart rate, you can see there. So I did do a bit of sprinting and running around, so I got my heart rate right up there just to test its accuracy. And I believe that seems to be pretty accurate there. Now, sleep stats, unfortunately, well, you know, I'm a bit of a private person. I'm not going to share with the whole world exactly how much I sleep at night. I left that off, but it seems to be working fine. I have reset this watch there. That's why there's no actual stats showing there. Now, sport time, 1.5 hours that I was working out, and really in the calories, of course, is there, but it's very, very lacking in this here. Now, heart rate monitors mentioned, I think that's actually working okay comparing it to other watches. Now, you've got this mode here where you can have just the whole screen just to show off like a whole screen, like matrix effect or something, just to show that off. So I just put it on now. And it's something that I think a lot of people might like. You can see the curvature of the screen there again. And yeah, it's kind of a cool feature. That's really where this watch ends. It's the curved display, the cool design that's subjective as well. You may not actually like this design. And compasses in there, schedule, clock, search for your phone using their app, music on here. So one thing that is very, very lacking with this phone as well, that you can handle calls with it, but the speaker is inside internally sealed off, so is the microphone. The microphone doesn't seem to work or work very well at all, and you can hardly hear the speaker for calls, and even for music, it's not loud at all, that I can't even really capture it in this review here. So I'll very briefly show you the app because there is not a lot in here. It is super lackluster, lacking features, half-baked application, whatever you want to call it, because it just shows you you can track your fitness, and this is the information I already have on the watch, basically. So I've synced it up, and it cannot be synced to Google Fit or any other kind of programs like that either. Shows the steps, the calories, the distance. If I click here for a little bit more on details, not really much is coming through. You can see my average heart rate with my little test run that I did, 117 beats per minute. And then the steps and the time. That's really it. And as I pointed out, we can only track the 4 modes as well. And you've got your sleep info here, heart rate info there if you wanted that too, battery percent. That's it. That is simply it. Not much at all. And of course, settings. Okay, a few more other things in here, but not much at all either. So this is for the full screen display mode that I showed you before. Music management. So the speaker inside is terrible. You can hardly hear it. It's so muffled. It's so quiet. And I can't actually seem to add songs either. So that doesn't actually seem to work properly, not that it would matter. And photo management, so you can actually upload a photo to it, to the watch course, and have it display on the screen. But that's something I wouldn't actually really use myself. And straightforward personal info and everything else. So hopefully they're going to update and add to this particular fitness application, because there are no actual modes that you can just start on here like other fitness tracking apps, that you could, for example, start a workout from the application and it's used in conjunction with your watch because they'll be paired up. Not here. There's also no updates with your fitness, with your training or whatever. It doesn't come through the watch. There's no readout, not that you'd hear it again with the poor speaker inside it, to tell you that you've run for 3 miles or 3 kilometers and your heart rate is this. No updates at all coming from the watch itself. Okay, so this really is just a basic watch with a few additional features on there, like the heart rate monitor seems to be working okay. You got your sleep monitoring, and the GPS feature, the tracking features, falling short there completely. The application seems very half-baked to me. It doesn't seem finished. Some of the features do not work, like adding a song to the watch. I cannot seem to be actually able to do that. It doesn't seem to let me. It's grayed out to add a song to it, even though you've got about 4 gigabytes of storage on this one here. So severely lacking in your fitness tracking options. And I really wouldn't call this a smartwatch at all. And that's probably why they've just actually named it the Nubia watch, not the Nubia smartwatch. Now the design is something, however, that is very unique. The curvature to the screen, the fact that it does in fact curve around your wrist, something a little different there. You can see a little bit more details there on perhaps your steps you're taking, calories you've burnt, all on the same screen. And you've got other features in this that may be useful to some people, like of course the heart rate monitoring. And really, the design itself isn't bad. The build quality is good. It's just that application and the features. Nubia, please, hopefully firmware updates, application updates, add at least a bit more tracking, add the map feature, just work on it and get this really up to scratch that you could actually call this a semi-usable fitness watch. So that is my review there of the Nubia watch. Thank you so much for watching. Do stay tuned and subscribe to the channel for more up and coming videos on tech that I have planned, and I'll see you in the next one.